Important truths you must know about marriage to be effective in it Part 2. Hello everyone, you are welcome back to our channel. My name is Franklin from Couples Talk. If this is your first time coming to this channel, please consider subscribing because, in this channel, we talk about marriage, love, relationships, and everything in between. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so that the next time we post a new video you will be the first to receive it. In today's video, I am going to continue from where I stopped on the topic, important truths you need to know about marriage to be effective in your marital home. Remember, the objective of this video is to wake you up to the realities that you need to come to terms with if you are going to be effective in your marriage or planning to get married. Over the years I have discovered that many people got into marriage without fully understanding what to expect and what is expected of them, so in the long run, they started finding it difficult to cope because they weren't ready. So, without further ado, let's get started. This is part 2 of the series. Truth number 6, marriage requires transparency. One of the things that helps a marriage to stand strong is the trust established between both people. Now, if the trust is going to be established in any marriage, transparency must be involved. No shady lifestyle. So, if you are going to be effective in your marriage, one truth you need to come to terms with is that transparency must be involved. You have to be transparent in your marriage. Don't expect to do things without letting your spouse in on it. Don't let your spouse hear from outside the steps or actions you are taking or the things you want to do. He or she should hear from you first. Refuse to keep any detail from your spouse and choose to be an open book. One that your partner can stand for because he or she has come to know who you are. Over the years, I noticed that some men find it difficult to let their wives know exactly how much they have or saving, all in the name that their wives will take advantage of it. But let's analyze this. If you are not able to let your wife and the mother of your children know about your financial status, it means you truly don't trust her and you are creating an atmosphere in your marriage, where even your wife will be hiding some things from you because she knows you don't really trust her. So why should she trust you? Think about it. Instead of creating such an environment of distrust, why don't you create an environment of trust where both parties will be transparent to each other? It is the best kind of environment because it will impact your children also and create peace in your marriage. Truth number 7, marriage requires understanding. This is another very important truth you must know about marriage because on several occasions your spouse may not do things the way you expected. He or she will step on your toes and it will drive you crazy. Sometimes, it may not even be your spouse but your children or even your family members or your in-laws, but you see that is where understanding comes into play. No matter what they may have done to you, you will have to understand because if you react in a negative way it could break your marriage or destroy your relationship. Therefore, it is important to train yourself to understand at all times. Learn to see things from your spouse's point of view and in most cases put yourself in their shoes because this will help you to become more understanding. So, learn to be an understanding partner because you need it to be effective in your marriage. Truth number 8, marriage requires faithfulness. This one is something I believe everyone knows about. However, as simple as it may sound, it is important to know that it holds the key to major effectiveness in your marriage. In marriage, you have to be faithful not just to your spouse but to your kids, to your home, and most especially to yourself. Remember, the consequences of unfaithfulness begins with you. It tears you apart and could even destroy your marriage. Therefore, make a conscious decision to be faithful in your marriage and fight unfaithfulness with everything you have got. The devil will stop at nothing to bring opportunities of unfaithfulness to your way, but standing on God's grace and strong will, you will win the battle. Now, when we talk about faithfulness, most people's minds go in the direction of extramarital affairs. But you know what, that is not the only area in a marriage where this thing plays out. There are several other areas as well. For example, the area of money is one area where faithfulness is supposed to be maintained because if you are not faithful in that area it could destroy your marriage. Years ago, I know of a young man who was abroad and kept sending all his earnings to his wife to keep for him, and he also set the woman up in business. And years down the line, the young man decided to visit home so that he could put the money to good use. But on getting home, he discovered that his wife had been spending the money all along. She kept nothing for him and even the business that he opened for his wife was grounded. All his years of labor abroad went into shambles and the young man was distraught. He realized that his wife had not been faithful with this money and it brought a lot of problems in their marriage. As at the last time I checked, that marriage did not see the light of day. So, you see that faithfulness plays out in so many ways. But if you are going to be effective in your marriage, you must make a conscious decision to be a faithful spouse. One who can be trusted in money and all other areas as well. Interestingly, faithfulness is not something that happens on its own. You have to be deliberate about it throughout the days of your life, and this will also help you in business and in your career as well. Truth number 9, marriage requires love and care. Again, if you are going to be effective in your marriage, you must understand that marriage requires love and care. I mean, without this it's not possible for a marriage to be established. Now, something I would like to point out here is that most times, when people get married, they do so because of that initial love that was burning between them. But years down the line, when they no longer feel that intensity of love that they felt initially, they feel that something has gone wrong and they want to look for other alternatives just to feel the same way again, but the truth is that making such a move will not help. That is not the kind of transition that you need. What you need is to move to the next stage of love, because love in marriage is in different stages. The initial stage is the one most people are familiar with, but as time goes by, you ought to go to the next stage, which is to care about your wife and kids. This is the stage where your conscience gets involved. This is the stage you want to do things that keeps your conscience clear. You care so much about your spouse and kids that you will not want to hurt them. This is the next stage of love, and this is the stage that helps your marriage to stand the test of time. So, whatever you do, always remember that marriage requires love and care, and this is not for a moment but for a lifetime. Truth number 10, marriage is a lifetime contract. Again, one important truth you must know about marriage is that it is a lifetime contract. Those vows that were taken were not for a short moment but for a lifetime. So, in your marriage, you must always live with this consciousness, knowing very well that it's for a lifetime. There is no room for backing out except in some very special conditions. But if you are not yet married, this is where you must think twice before you tie the knot with anybody, because if you do it in a hurry, it could affect the rest of your life. I know that there are people today who just believe that, if one marriage does not work out, it's better to walk out, but guess what, it is not always easy like that. It's better to be careful from the beginning than to step in and step out. Most people who have walked out of their marriage never recovered fully. Even though they may act as if all is well, they still get affected one way or the other because of the emotional trauma they felt and the time wasted. Spiritually, they also get affected too, but I wouldn't want to go into all that here, as that is not the focus of this video. Children also get affected in such a way that cannot be explained. So, all in all, it is better to be very careful and think twice before you say I do. This is why you must have the fear of God and seek His opinion before you step into marriage, because, in the long run, only His grace sustains you, your spouse, and the marriage. Truth number 11, marriage requires integrity. This is where honesty and strong moral discipline come into play. If you are going to be effective in your marriage, you must practice integrity with your spouse. Because the bedrock of your marriage depends on this. Anything that will makes you appear as a dishonest spouse must be avoided by all means and deliberately, because the consequence of such things lingers for a long time. So, I encourage you to arm yourself with this truth and understand that integrity in marriage is of utmost importance. It helps to curb the issues of distrust and insecurity. Truth number 12, marriage requires long-suffering. Finally, this is another truth you must know about marriage. Because things may not always go as planned. There are times when situations will come up and you can't back out or give up on your marriage. You have to endure for a period of time. Things may be really rough and sour, sometimes it could be financial issues or delay in having children or health-related issues, but whatever the case may be, you will be required to endure so that you can scale through. Interestingly, these things can't be avoided sometimes. The only way out is to go through it gracefully, and guess what, these are things that strengthens you and your spouse. So always remember that in marriage, you will be required to endure for a while. Every successful marriage you see out there has endured one thing or the other, but the consolation here is that, as you guys endure, victory shall be your lot. Now, I could go on and on because this is a very large topic, but I will be stopping here as I have addressed some of the very important ones. However, if there is anyone I did not mention here, please feel free to drop it in the comment box. Let's analyze it and help someone out there. Remember, the objective of this video is to equip married folks with what is expected of them in their marriage. While those who are not married, it is to equip them with what they should expect now that they are planning to get married. Alright, guys, that will be all for now. If you have gotten value from it, don't forget to like the video, drop me a comment and share with your friends and family members who need to hear these words. Also, my new book Marriage Made Easy will be coming out in a couple of days. This is one book that will speak to you and your partner in ways you never imagined. If you are interested in getting the book, do send me an email at couplestalk1@gmail.com so that when the book is out, we will inform you via email on how you can purchase the book. If you have questions or something you would like me to talk about, kindly send me an email at couplestalk1@gmail.com and I will be happy to talk about it. Until I speak to you again, keep basking in marital bliss. God bless you.